What's up, guys? BHV here. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me for this, so I'm finally going to do it. Here it is, guys. The VTPK build video. Alright, guys. So here we go. We'll get into it. So I will start off with the skills. So, as pretty much any Paladin needs, I think it's incredibly important for cleansing curses and healing poison. It's extremely good to take these 2 skill points required to get cleansing. It's pretty huge. Some Paladins don't, but I think it's huge. For PvP focused Paladin, you need it. So as a Vindicator Templar, your basically 2 main abilities are Smite and Fist of Heavens. I think it's incredibly important for Vindicator Templar Paladins, VTs, to be Smite focused. It's very important to have the max Smite damage you can. So as such, we max Smite, 20 skills into that, and then we also max Holy Shield, 20 skills into Holy Shield, and also we max Fanaticism. So that's our aura that we use, the Holy Shield, to increase our block and shield damage, and then also Smite. So those are the 3 that we maxed for smiting. Now I'll put perhaps an easier to read text up on the screen here, but afterwards you can go into Fist of Heavens. Now at a level 95 VT Paladin, I have 15 points into Fist of Heavens, and then I also have 14 points into Holy Shock. Now this leaves me with a fairly respectable Fist of Heavens. This is 2.9 thousand without battle orders, so I believe it'll be about 3.1 thousand damage on that Fist of Heavens, which is respectable. And then I also have 1 into Conviction, which lots of Paladins don't do. I find it's worth it. I rarely use it and wait for the Conviction to proc, because it takes a couple seconds before from when you flick on the aura to when it actually applies to the enemy. So we take that into consideration. I don't use it very much. That's why we only have 1 stat into it. But I will flick it on just about every time I use foe, and once in a while it will hit. And basically how it works is if they have low enough resistances, you will actually cause them to be faster hit recovery a little bit longer and a bigger faster hit recovery animation if the resistances are low enough. So sometimes it's real nice, and you'll get a bigger tick on your FHR when you're using foe if you're able to connect with Conviction. So it's pretty nice. If someone has really high resistances and you Fist of Heavens them without swirls, they won't get FHR'd at all. But if they have very low resistances, or you snipe them with a Conviction, it actually will a little bit, and it's obviously more if they have stun. But it's nice for the first Fist of Heavens to stomp them and to get a stun. And that's about it for the skills. That's really it. We just get all the prerequisites, which would be like Sacrifice, Zeal, Vengeance, Holy Bolt, Blessed Hammer. That's it. And then 1 into Prayer. Some people will go into Defiance and Vigor as well. I personally don't find it's worth it, especially in D2R. You can't quite sync as well, and you do still sync on charges sometimes in a different way, but without Vigor, so it doesn't even really matter in my opinion. So I save those skills, and that's the build. So basically, max Smite, max Holy Shield, max Fanaticism, 15 points into Fist of Heavens, and 14 points into Holy Shock. So next is stats, and then the stats actually differ depending on what build you're using. So I'm going to start with the one that I'm currently wearing, of course, and this is the one that I'm using, that I wear when I'm versing all characters and in like general GMPK or team versus team. So I was playing some 4v4s and 3v3s, so this is the spec I was using. This is the one that I use when I want to use my double burr Crown of Ages and have 75 faster cast rate still. So with this one, I have a base strength of 46. So I put, I don't know, I can't math, but you start with 25 and I went up to 46. So that will leave me exactly with 174 strength with this setup, which is what you need to use for a double burr Crown of Ages. Now with this one, I don't quite have max block. So I do have max block with other gear sets, but with this one, 75 faster cast rate, I just have 66 block. You could go up from what I have, 68. You could go up to like 75, 80, and you would hit max block. For this one, I find 66 is fine. I like to have a little bit extra life. In a perfect world, though, I probably should have a little bit more dexterity. I probably should have max block in this setup, and I likely will respec. So I would recommend, for this build, 46 strength, and then let's say 75 or 80 dexterity. So basically, just until you have max block. max block being 75%. I'm a little bit short at 66. And then the rest, obviously, completely into vitality. That'll leave me at level 95 with 441. And then no energy. Energy sucks. And I'm going to be going over multiple sets. So this set that we're starting out with is... it works out to be 54% DR, which hits the 50% DR cap, which is kind of necessary versus a lot of things. This kind of set I use versus all and in pub games and stuff like that. So it's good for like barbarians, other smiters, wind druids, etc. Anything that uses physical damage. Has a small amount of rep life, which is nice. But it hits the 86% faster hit recovery breakpoint, being at 95. We hit that nicely. It hits 75% faster cast rate breakpoint as well, which is really nice for the setup. So now I guess we can get into gear. So I'll start with this set again. 75% faster cast rate, 86% faster hit recovery, 50 DR build. This is good for versus everything. And yeah, so started with the grief. Obviously we go with the phase blade here because we want to be able to hit the max smite increased attack speed frames without wearing smite gloves, because we want to wear tranks. If we need the faster cast rate, we want to hit 75 on this build, and tranks are a must. Obviously the Crown of Aegis, this is where we're going to get our 31% damage reduction. My personal one here I have is 2 socket, 28 all res, and 15 DR, so it's not quite perfect, but it's pretty good. 75% faster cast rate build, we need this 2 paladin skills, 20% faster cast rate amulet. This also has 17 strength, which helps use the Crown of Aegis. And this one has fire resistance and mana, which is nice. The shield is a must. Lots of VT paladins use Haws. I dislike Haws. I have some, but I do not use them on this character. I highly recommend not using Haws. It is okay for a starter, especially in Smite versus Smite, but generally I'll get to it and show you my shield choices. But for this build, in this gear set, we're definitely using a Spirit Sacred Targe. So this is a Sacred Targe, which has the highest block chance out of all the Paladin shields, and also has 45 to all res on the base, which is nice. And it's a 35 roll. So this is going to allow us to mix with the amulet and the gloves. So 35% here, 20 here, and 20 here is going to leave us with 75. And then we're laughing. And then obviously the best boots for VT is Water Walks. 15 dex, 64 life, mine are 1 life off perfect. The ED is a bit low, but whatever. So these boots are generally the best. The only time I take these off is if I'm playing against a sorceress and I need to use these tri-res boots. So these are 30 faster run walk, 10 faster hit recovery, cold res, lightning res, and fire res. These are cute little boots. So these are the only other boots that I will wear against a res set. And then also with the sorceress, I will sometimes wear Infernal Strides against a fire sorc. The nice thing about Inferno Strides is it puts you up to 85% total fire resistance, which is GM. That is the max fire resistance you are allowed to use. So you run that with a slight stack. You should just enough to stack over their facets, and then you should be good. So that we usually run those, but 99% of the time we run Water Walks. Most of the time against fire sorceresses, even the Water Walks are good. Against fire sorceresses, we have the fire fire charm stack as well. But yeah, generally against fire sorceresses, I would even just use Water Walks. It's only against a real good, really fast 200 faster cast rate ES fireballers that we want to maybe run the Inferno Strides. But this build also will run the Verdungos. We need this to hit the 50% damage reduction. Also, this one has nice vitality and replenished life, so these are pretty good. Obviously, we need the Enigma, and then we have a perfect Raven Frost. This is really good for the Can't Be Frozen, dexterity and attack rating, but helps with charge. This is just a generally good ring. And then on the other hand, we use a Wisp projector. So this is nice lightning absorb. It's GM absorb because I only have this. I don't have T-Gods or any other lightning absorb. I run this because we need an oak. The oak sage is extremely beneficial to taking a hit when you teleport stomp onto people. It will take the hit, and obviously it gives you more life. So it's a little bit of a meat shield, and it gives you more life. It's good. So in versus all, I almost always run a wisp projector. Now the only time I switch this is sometimes what I'll do is I can switch with a Nature's Peace. So this Nature's Peace does the same thing. When I don't need the the lightning absorb, I will just run this. It has a damage reduce of 11 and provides a higher level Oak Sage with more charges as well, so it's nice. So then we'll move on to the inventory. This inventory, I decided to go with 7 Grand Charms. So I run all combat skill lifers. These ones are only 37. They're a little cheaper than the 45s and 40s, so I just went with these. I got them a while ago, so I got them for a good deal. I decided to only run 7 because I think it's a little bit better to have the extra life and the extra resistances you get from having an extra row of charms. And also run the Maras in the inventory. This is for battle ordering before your duels. It helps quite a bit to get that extra 2 skills above the Paladin skill one. For the more life, it's usually an extra 500 life or something like that. And then with the small charm, so I have one 16 life, all resistance 5. I usually have another one that goes right here if I don't run the Maras. Now the rest, I have all 1 stack. I stack all lightning resistance, so these are all 20 life lightning resistance. A couple 19s, but they're all basically 8 and above lightning resist, 19 and up life. Most are 20s. Now depending on what I'm fighting, I have a different stack for each one. So say I'm going against a Blizzard Sorceress, what I would do is I would just bust in these small charms. And there we got the cold stack. So, and then I have the same thing for fire. And then I also have the same thing with faster hit recovery ones. And then I have some all res life ones. Some of them are on other characters right now, but it's extremely useful to have at least 10 to swap and stack with. But I'm going to go back, throw the lightning ones in, because that is the versus all one that I usually use. It's the most beneficial. With this Crown of Ages, I have everything but fire. And it's pretty good. Usually I can throw half fire small charms in if there's a fire sorceress on the other team, or I would perhaps throw on the tri-res boots or Inferno Strides. So that basically covers this build. This is my inventory there. I don't change much other than the res charms, and I will sometimes take out the Mars if I can't use it. Actually, I think with this set I don't need the Mars, because without the strength from my thing, I can't use the Crown of Ages, so it's not really worth it. I will usually take the life and resistances over that with this specific build. So with this one, it would be looking something like this. This is more what my inventory would be with this set. So next, what I will show you is my Smite versus Smite set. So this is what the set that I play in VTPK. So when I'm fighting another VT, or when I'm fighting another Smiter, VC, so a Smite Charger or something like that, or a faux heavy Smiter, which would be a TV. And when I'm fighting against one of those guys, this is my kind of go-to set. So when you're fighting in Smite versus Smite, you don't tend to need a lot of faster cast rate. So generally a lot of Smiters won't have any, or just a little bit. So I like to counter that by actually running a bit of faster cast rate. So I think this is the most overlooked setup in all Smiters. I think this is incredibly good. I will show some clips at the end of me absolutely dominating kids with this build. So this is pretty straightforward other than the socket. So this here is the Shaco. Usually with the Smite for Smite VT, we're going to be using a Shaco almost every time. But this one, I put in a 40% enhanced damage duel and a 20 to all life. So that adds quite a bit of extra life and a little bit of extra smite damage, which is pretty beneficial. Now the next big thing that is this throw, it's a change up from what other Smiters do, is I use a Storm Shield. I think this shield is so overlooked and is incredibly good. And then we also pair that with the Arachnid's Mesh. So looking at this shield, I also have a 40% enhanced damage, 9 to dexterity duel. So that adds 9 to dex, which will give me a better block chance and more attack rating for charge. And then also the enhanced damage for charge, and also the bonus for smite. So this setup here with just the Shaco, Enigma, and the Storm Shield, we are already sitting at 53% damage reduction. So that leaves us free reign for our belt, and that we're still getting the life and mana from the Shaco with this setup. So this Storm Shield is great. The damage is also very, very, very respectable. It basically Smite for Smite versus a Hawes, it's the exact same amount of smites to kill. It's 6 smites to kill, depending on your life, 6 or 5. But it's the damage is very respectable because you have the 240% enhanced damage jewels. You get 80% enhanced damage out of both this setup. You get the extra 9 dex. So with this setup, we do hit a perfect max block, just so we can walk against VCs. And lastly, so this setup you can actually do 2 different setups. This one here is 60% faster cast rate, which will only get you to the 48 faster cast rate breakpoint. So you could supplement that with faster cast rate rings, but then you would be losing the cannot be frozen from the Raven Frost. And if they're using a Raven Frost, you don't want to be dealing with just getting smited from their cold damage. So most often I would avoid that. But so this one hits the 48% faster cast rate. Now we can also put in our Smite gloves, which will be our 20% increased attack speed, 3 life leech, crushing blow, dex, strength, life, and light res. These are very good gloves. This will still leave us at the 40% faster cast rate, which will effectively leave us at the 30 faster cast rate breakpoint, which is pretty quick and generally quicker than people running 0, and will give you a better time landing your stomps versus another smiter running 0. Now again, you can run the Chinese gloves to get up to 48 and be even faster, but having the crushing blow is nice. Now the nice thing about these gloves too is with the 20% increased attack speed on these gloves, it will actually stop you from dropping a frame when they hit you with Holy Freeze. Now if you don't run these gloves, you get hit with Holy Freeze, you're going to lose a lot more attack speed on your smites than you would if you weren't running these. So these are definitely better. I prefer this setup. This is my kind of ideal Smite vs Smite VTPK setup. Not with a Nature's Piece though. Nature's Piece is not you're not allowed the summons, so I would replace that with a Bulkathos. So I have the perfect Raven Frost at Bulkathos, 20 faster cast rate amulet, the Storm Shield with a 40 enhanced damage, 9 dex jewel, 40 enhanced damage, 20 life, Shaco, Smite gloves, Arachnid's mesh, water walk boots, and a grief. Now I feel like this is very strong. It doesn't hit a very high faster hit recovery, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot in Smite vs Smite. It hits a cast rate buff. It hits a cast rate breakpoint, and then it hits a damage reduction. We're fast and we hit hard. So this is a very good setup. Now the low faster cast rate, really high damage Smite setup, I'll show you guys next. So this one is really good, but this one is a lot more expensive to make. So this one we will swap with a Burr Shaco, and then we will swap the Storm Shield out here with the J-Stod. So swapping out the J-Stod, this beautiful shield here, it doesn't have the best jewels in it. These are the jewels I had at the time, but they're it still makes for a very powerful shield. So this is a Jeweler's Sacred Charge of Deflecting. So this is a base 4 socket with 30 faster block rate and 20% increased chance of blocking. This makes it way easier to hit max block, and this is a Knights mod. So this one rolled with Knights, which gives it 88 attack rating, and the base on this one is a low roll, 44 or 43 enhanced damage. So base, this has 4 sockets, 43 enhanced damage, 88 attack rating, 30 block rate, and 20 increased chance of blocking. It's very good. So I put some jewels in there that also added to enhanced damage, 7 faster hit recovery, and 19 strength, dex, and then 5 life. On top of the Burr, this makes for a very powerful shield. This will be with the Burr Shaco, and then a Verdungos. We will be sitting at a very, very pretty 49% damage reduction. So it's very good. This is just, 50 is the cap, 49 is pretty damn good. This leaves us with a very, very powerful Smite at 2900. I'll go use my battle orders on this one. This build, we would definitely This build we would definitely be using the Maras for the pre-BO. So we can go check quick damage with battle orders and proper smite. So the damage, that displayed damage with this setup is 3027, which is pretty powerful. You know, especially considering we have a whole bunch of enhanced damage on the shield that does not display. It's pretty good. So this one doesn't leave us with very much faster cast rate, only 20 from our amulet. But it does give us 31% faster hit recovery, and we'll obviously get the block chance. With this setup, it leaves us free to run a different stat build. So with this build that I'm wearing here, and the last one actually, the storm shield build can be run with the same setup. So with this stat build here, you can save a very high amount of strength and dexterity. So this setup here, I'll put it up on the screen. Your base stats will be 0 into strength, so your base stats will be 25 strength, and then your dexterity, you will be able to run this down to 49. So 49 dexterity here will leave you with max block with both of these shields, with this J-Stod and with the storm shield, with the 49 dex. 49 dexterity is all the points you need in here. And at level 95, that will leave you with 481 vitality points. That I know with this exact build with the Mars pre-BO. You know what? I can actually show you. I'll show you right now. We'll just do a quick respec. We'll do it live on the video, and then you guys can see. We'll respec right now. Where did that charm go? There it is. So I'll respec right now. So with this build, we already have all of our gear on, so we need 0 strength. Strength is 0. So we can go up here to 49. That's 49 dexterity. That was going to leave us with exactly max block, and then we can put into here 481 vitality. Now we'll do the skills again. So we went over this before. We go into cleansing. So 1 prayer, 1 cleansing. Now into combat skills, we'll max smite, get charge, holy bolt, hammer. We'll max holy shield. And we will get all of these prerequisites here to get Fist of Heavens. Now we'll go to offensive auras. We will go down, 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 max fanaticism. And then we get all these to get holy shock, and here to get conviction. Now we have all of our prerequisite skills and we're good. So now we go 15 base stats into Fist of Heavens, and then the rest of them 13 skills, the remaining all into holy shock. So that will leave us with a 14 holy shock, and that is the build. So now this build, if we go pre-battle orders with our Maras, we should be at quite a higher HP count with this, and I believe it will leave us with 4384, which is quite powerful with this setup. So so this is the Smite versus Smite max damage build, and this one is quite nice. I used this when I played in the VTPK ladder. I recently dropped out at number 2, number 1 NA. So the number 1 player was an EU player by the name of Levian, and I was number 2, and I'm obviously a West player. So it was quite different, and I really didn't like trying to play on the Europe server, so I actually dropped out. But this is my most frequently used set. Leaves us with a lot of life, and it's very versatile. It's very quick. We still have 20 faster cast rate, so we are still able to stomp. And it's a very good set. And we have our discarded Hawses here. I do have a 15 IES 40 ED Zeal Hawes, and then I have a Burr Hawes. What some people will do is they'll use this exact build that I'm using right now. In place of the J-Stod, they will use a Burr Hawes. This leaves us with almost the same stats. That leaves us with 40 DR. I believe you'll still hit max block with this build, and the damage is similar. You don't get the faster hit recovery. Gives you some resistances in life, but the damage is just not the same. The damage you get out of the J-Stod is quite superior. It's almost an extra smite. It's fighting with the same paladins with a J-Stod and a Hawes. The J-Stod will be 5 smites, and the Hawes will be 6 smites in just about most cases. So but this is, if you can't afford a J-Stod, this is what you want to be using. You want to be using a Burr Hawes for this specific setup. It is quite powerful, but again, I do prefer the Storm Shield the Storm Shield, Damage Life Jewel, Arachnid Mesh build, which also leaves you with quite the high life count. It's not quite as high as the JSTOD build, but it's pretty good. So it leaves us with 4812. I know with my current gear I can get up to 4898. I just am missing a couple 20 life charms that I've stolen off my other characters, but this still leaves us with a good build. Obviously we're stacked lightning resistance, so in the VTPK match you'll be good. The smite damage is actually quite a bit higher than what it shows with the 80 ED there. But this is the set that I use if I just fighting a random smiter and I don't really know who he is. I'll be using this. I like having these faster cast rate breakpoints. It makes it a lot better. And the last build that I'm going to show you guys, this one is very flexible and very fun. It's probably one of my favorite builds. So this is the 125 faster cast rate VT build. So this one's nice. So this one you will need a 20 faster cast rate, 2 Paladin circlet. So this one I have is 2 Paladin, 20 faster cast rate. It is shield for 20 faster hit recovery. This one has 8 minimum damage, 20 to dexterity, which is real nice, and then 17 all res. For this build, obviously, we're going to need to use the Spirit because we need the faster hit recovery. The faster cast rate. This one obviously has the faster hit recovery bonus, which is very nice. And then this one, obviously, we're going to need the Trangs as well. So it's pretty nice. So this one with the Trangs, the Spirit, the Circlet, and the Amulet, that leaves us at 115. So we need 1 faster cast rate ring. Now, most of the time, I will use, you'll just use basically a high life ring. So I have an 18 strength, 39 life, 14 dex, 40 life, 22 mana. It's pretty nice. Probably will use this one actually. In place of the BK, and that'll leave us with 125 faster cast rate, 75 faster hit recovery, which will require 3 small charms, 3 faster hit recovery small charms, which I could bust in really quick right now. I'll put in this 19, 19, 19. We'll put in those, and then you can put in 3 faster hit recovery small charms, and then we will be at 90 faster hit recovery, 125 faster cast rate, and 65 faster run and walk. This build is quite powerful, and you are very, very fast with the 125. It's very good. It's really helpful versus necromancers, hammered-ins, and other builds where you need to be fast. This build still is just about 4,600 life, and you can use your whole setup with the low dex. With the low 49 dex build, it still leaves us with 73% chance to block, which is very good. This build is probably my favorite to use. The only downside of this build is it does not have very much DR. So if you're fighting against someone like a barbarian or an Amazon, a bow Amazon, or even an elemental druid, you're going to take a lot of damage. The nice thing is you're really, really fast at 125, and you have a good fast run and walk, so you can sidestep the bone spears and stuff like that. But this build is a little squishy, but it is my favorite, and it is very powerful. This is a very good build. If you want to have some fun on a VT and you want to go in and stomp some pubs, I would definitely suggest using this build or the 75 faster cast rate Crown of Ages build, the first one we showed you. Those are the 2 best builds that I find for just general Smite versus anything, and just VTPK. If you're Smite versus Smite, you saw my favorite build. That's the Storm Shield 40 ED Shaco build. That one is really good. It has the faster cast rate, and it hits real hard. That's probably the best one overall, as it's very cheap to make, and you're not paying 20,000 for a freaking JSTOD, you know. So those are basically my VTPK builds, guys. But before we go, I wanted to quickly go over and show you guys what item swaps I keep in my stash, just to be ready for kind of any duel that I might come up against. So obviously, right now I'm currently wearing the Shaco ED Jewel, Storm Shield, Water Walk, Bull Kathos Ring, Raven Frost, Arachnid's Mesh, Smite Gloves, 20 Faster Cast Red Amulet, and my Grief. So in my stash, I will keep a Crown Evasions with a Burr and a 40% enhanced damage and minus 15 requirements jewel. Now I mainly use this on my Zealer, but sometimes if I don't want the double Burr Crown of Ages on the Smiter, I will use this as well. Then we have the 2 Burr Crown of Ages, obviously for DR, and the 75 versus all set. Now we have 2 Kiras, one that has a Thal rune specifically for Blizzard sorceresses, and then another one that is an rune just for kind of anything that I need to res stack against. Then I have my Shakos, so I have the one I'm wearing with the 40 ED 20 life jewel, and then I have a Jaw Shako for max life. I sometimes use this for Necromancers if I'm not going 125. Then I have the Burr Shako, which is obviously used for the max damage set, the J-Sod set, or the Burr Hawes set. And then we have this this special circlet here that we use versus Trap Assassins. So what we can do is versus Trap Assassins, we'll throw this on with a T-Gods, likely a Spirit Shield as well. But with this, then we will have the integer damage reduction of this paired with the Nature's Peace, which will give us a total of 46, which will completely negate Assassin's Mind Blast, even up to 20 stack skills. So it's very powerful. So we use this with 75 faster cast rate, and this would be our Trap Assassin build. And then obviously we keep the J-Stod. We have another Monarch. This one is 40 ED with a minus 15 requirements jewel, just in case I don't want to have the strength of the 49 dex. Then we have, I don't use this very often, but I do have it. It is a Cold Stack Shield. It's a 4 Perfect Sapphire, 194 Cold Res Shield. And yeah, then we have the Arachnid's Mesh, we have the Verdunkos, we obviously have the T-Gods that I just put on. And then for our rings, we carry all the basic things. So I have the Ravenfrost here. This is a junk one, actually. I shouldn't have this one. I have another perfect one on my other Zealer, but we have the perfect Ravenfrost here. You have the Nature's Peace on, and then we have Sparable Kathos. We have 2 Wisp projectors. We have 2 Dwarf Stars. We have 2 Angelics. We have an Angelic Amulet. We have another Bull Kathos that should be down here. We've got a High Lords just in case. We have a 27 strength cold res amulet for more strength or cold stack. We have a Nokazan just for if we want to be BM against a Fire Sork. Well, I guess this isn't BM. This is actually GM res, but we do have that just if we don't want to run the boots. Then we have a dexterity stack amulet, and then we have a whole bunch of stat life faster caster rings. So we have 18 strength, 39 life, 13 dex, 40 life, attack rating all res, 44 attack rating, 16 strength, 14 dex, lightning res, fire res 30. This is a very nice ring. We have a attack rating 34 life, 8 life rep, 9 mana fire res ring, 14 strength, 55 life, 31 mana. This is one of my nicest rings. This is an extremely good ring for my Zealer, my Telly Zeal. And then attack rating, strength, life, cold res, light res is another nice one. And then another 18 strength, 39 life. I got a bunch of good rings here. You know, just the best rings for VTs are usually stats, life, resistance. You know, I do play a Telly Zealer as well a lot, so I do have several that have attack rating as well, which is really nice for the Telly Zealer. But yeah, that's about it. I obviously have my Hawses. I don't really use those. That's about it. And then for charms, we have obviously our lightning stack that we always usually wear. We have a cold stack, all 20 life cold res charms. And we have the 20 life fire res charms. And then we have a whole bunch of extra faster hit recovery spares. Some all res, life all res that I have on my druid will usually be stacked here. These are more just kind of my less high rolled res charms, and then I have a bunch of melee zeal spare charms up here. And one thing I failed to go through earlier in the video was I do have a 2020 Annie and a 2020 Torch. And yeah, that's about it. Those are kind of the swaps I use. I went through all my other builds in the video, but yeah, basically I'll kind of go through the 3 main ones, brief overviews of the 3 or 4 main ones that I use. So we'll start with the 125 faster cast rate. So that's going to be obviously the 220 faster hit recovery dex all res circlet. It's going to be the 220 17 strength faster cast rate amulet. That's going to be our Grief Phase Blade, obviously the Enigma. That's going to be the 45 all res spirit sacred charge. It's going to be the Trang's gloves. It is going to be one stat life faster cast rate ring. I'm going to go with a dexterity one just so I get a little bit higher, a little bit closer to max block. And then on the other hand, we will either use a Raven Frost or a Nature's Peace. Usually we'll go with Nature's Peace. And then the Water Walks. And that's basically it for that build. And then the high faster cast rate Smite for Smite VTPK build. That's going to be the one we've seen a few times now. That's going to be the 40 ED 20 life Shaco, 40 ED 9 dex Monarch, Arachnid's Mesh. That's going to be one Raven Frost and one Volcathos. And obviously the Waterwalks. And then the full damage Smite build is going to be the Burr Shaco. It is going to be the Jeweler's Sacred Charge of Deflecting. It is also going to be the Verdungos and the same rings, the Volcathos and the Raven Frost. And obviously Smite gloves. And then last but not least, it is going to be the 75% faster cast rate DR VT versus all spec. So that is going to be the Crown of Ages with the double burr. It's going to be the 20 faster cast rate amulet. It's going to be the Spirit Sacred Charge. It is going to be the Triangle's gloves, Verdungos, Raven Frost, Nature's Peace, and that is about it. All right, guys. Now that was it. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I was going to go on a little bit further and then go into some tips and tricks and playstyle things for VT, but the video is quite long right now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to create a second video that is going to incorporate all the play styles and different matchups and how to play versus different types of characters in the next video. So I'm going to be posting that one up probably tomorrow or the day after, and you guys can check that out, and it will kind of finish the build. So basically this video, everything we incorporated here is basically what we're going to be using for the build. And then the next video we will be going over how to use it. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys like the video, please follow and subscribe. This is a pretty new channel, and I've also created a new Twitch channel. So I've moved away from using my IRL automotive and drifting content channel. I used to stream on twitch.tv/rogue mentality, but I want to keep that one more focused on drifting and car stuff. So now I'm going to be using a different channel for Diablo stuff. So please follow twitch.tv/BHVD2. I really appreciate it. We're going live there all the time with more PK stuff. Basically everything we did in this video, we did live. So thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.
Impossible to watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I can't. Yeah, so the kicks always were landing. I can't.
That was close. That was close. You're playing good there. I locked you for fucking ever.